The life of Sri Ramakrishna was in itself a veritable parliament of religions. He practiced the spiritual sadhanas taught in the various sects of Hinduism, and then went on to practice the teachings, the practices taught, inculcated in different religious traditions, including Islam and Christianity. He interacted with Buddhists and Sikhs also. And then he came to his doctrine of Jato Math, Tato Path. All religions are valid, all religions are true, they lead to the same goal. It is to commemorate this that we have organized the present Parliament of Religions. We shall now go straight into the proceedings of this session. I would now like to invite Swami Atmapriyananda Ji Maharaj, the Vice Chancellor of the Ramakrishna Vivekananda University, to deliver his talk on Hinduism. He is an eminent speaker and has represented Hinduism in national and international forums.
Om yo brahmanam vidadhati sarvam yo vai vedanscha prahinoti tasmai tam hadevam atma buddhi prakasham mumukshur vai sharanamaham prapadye nishkalam nishkriyam shantam niravadyam niranjanam amritasya param setum dagadhendhanamivanalam Om sato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya aviravir rudrayatte dakshinam mukham te namam pahi nityam Om shanti 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 Om shakti samudra samuthatarangam Darshita prema vijrumbhitarangam samshaya rakshasa nashamahastram yami gurum sharanam bhava vaidyam advaya tattva samahita chittam projvala bhakti patavrita vrittam karma kalevara madhubhuta cheshtam yami gurum sharanam bhava vaidyam naradeva deva jaya jaya naradeva. I offer my respectful salutations to all the senior Swamis present here, and the president of this meeting, Swami Sarvapriyananda ji. My regards to all the eminent speakers in the dais, and our dear brahmacharis and the brother monks, and dear devotees of Ramakrishna Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda has a remarkable article titled Hindu Religion and Sri Ramakrishna. There he begins by saying that truth can be classified as of two kinds. One is the truth which is discovered by physical sciences through reason and through sense perception. The other kind of truth is that which is realizable by the yogis through extrasensory perception. The first is what we normally call as a science, particularly the Western model of science. The second is what is called yoga. In Sanskrit, he uses the words indriya pratyaksha, that which is directly perceived by the senses of man, and yogaja pratyaksha, that which is realized by the supersensory faculties of yoga. The second kind of perception is what Swami Vivekananda calls the Shruti or the Vedas. Hindu Dharma, which is translated loosely as Hindu religion, has its base on the Shruti or the Vedas, which have been perceived through supersensory perception by a band of people who were devoted to searching for this truth, who were called rishis. Rishis were people who didn't create this knowledge, but people to whom this knowledge was revealed in their pure hearts because of a faculty which they developed within themselves to intuit truths through supersensory specific faculty called yoga. And the beauty of this body of truths is it is ever expanding, it is universal, and like science of the modern times, it is verifiable and replicable in all places, at all times, and realizable by anybody who follows the same method. This is the great challenge which the rishis have thrown to the world, that if you say you can see God, I have seen God, it is equally possible that somebody else also can see God under the same circumstances. The most modern verification of this method is in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, who was challenged by the Narendranath Datta, a young agnostic at that time, who straightaway asked him, "Have you seen God, sir?" Sri Ramakrishna's answer was very clear and unambiguous. He said, "I have seen God. I see Him much more tangibly and much more palpably than I see you, and I can show Him to you. But alas, who really wants to see Him?" There are several important scientific truths in this remarkable statement. I have seen Him and I can show Him to you, and it is possible for everybody to realize God and intuit Him in this very life. This is the challenge which has been reinforced and retold in the stories of Ramakrishna Vivekananda in the modern times, but it's an ancient story from the Upanishads. The last verse of the Kathopanishad, a very remarkable verse which says that this great teaching of the Vedanta, the Brahma Vidya or the Atma Vidya, was given by the Acharya, Yama, to the eligible student, remarkable student Nachiketa. And Nachiketa, having grasped this truth, having realized this truth, became immortal, became free from all bondage, and attained to freedom. And the last line of the Upanishad says, anybody else also can realize the same truth. Mrityu proktam nachiketo talabdhva vidyametam yoga vidhim chakritznam brahma prapto virajo bhut vimrityu anyopyevam yo vidadhyatmameva anyopi yo vidadhyatmameva. The echo of Sri Ramakrishna, I have seen, I can show Him to you, you can also see. Anybody else also will be able to see. It is universal and replicable. If the replicability and the universality of this truth is not there, then it will not be scientific, it will be esoteric doctrine, and it will be realizable only by a group of people who deny this knowledge to others. This is the great challenge which has been thrown by rishis to the world, that this is possible for you to see it now. Why is it necessary to see the supersensuous truths? Are we not happy with the present day life? We are, to some extent, unless we are jolted by various sorrows, but they are part of the game of life. Why not accept them? The answer will be that your life will become miserable unless you realize the supreme truth. And if the supreme reality doesn't exist, if the supreme reality is not realizable, our lives have no meaning. Swami Vivekananda made two powerful statements to Nivedita. If this is true, the supreme reality, if this is true, what else matters? If this is not true, what do our lives matter? Sri Ramakrishna put it very simply by saying, if all the zeros you add up, finally you get a zero. Suppose somebody wants you to give a big donation. You go there with great hopes. He takes a check and writes 0, another 0, another 0. You become irritated, sir, what are you doing? You wait for some time. Put 1 there at the beginning, and sir, add more zeros, sir. The zeros have no meaning in themselves, but with the 1 in front, the zeros acquire tremendous meaning. Sri Ramakrishna very simply said, the 0 represents the world and the 1 represents God. With God in front, the world acquires an extraordinary meaning. What is the method by which you do it? If this is the goal of human life, is to realize the supreme reality, now and here. This is again a speciality of the religion of the rishis, the Sanatana Dharma, which is this has to be realized here and now. It is not enough that you have a post-mortem realization of the supreme reality. As Swami Vivekananda once said, I don't believe in a God who will not give me 2 pieces of bread and keep me happy when I am alive, all the time promising eternal heaven after I am dead. We don't want that kind of a God. We want a God who is realizable here and now. The word which is used in the Upanishads, Swami Ranganathananji was very fond of this word, ihaiva, ihaiva, here and now. The Gita repeats it often, and the Upanishads also say, ihaiva darjata sargo yesham samye sthitam manah nirdosham me samam brahma tasmad brahmanide sthitaha. Gita, 5th chapter. Ihaiva, here and now it is possible for you to see. And if you don't see this reality within yourself, even when you are alive, even when you live in this world, then this world, the life will be futile. Great will be your loss. That's the statement in the Upanishad. Mahati vinashtihi. Ihached averi tatasatyamasti nached iha vedin mahati vinashtihi. If you realize this truth here and now, great will be your gain. If you can't realize it, great will be your loss. So the goal is to realize the supersensual reality, therefore, here and now. They call it moksha or freedom. What about this world itself? You don't reject the world. As some philosophies in Hinduism reject the world as unreal, and several others accept it. There is a mixture of all kinds of paradigms. Everything is accepted. What is it that man seeks in life? The goal of human existence has been classified by the rishis as 4. What a person seeks in life is called the Purushartha. Purusha means a human being, a person. Artha means what he seeks. What he seeks in life has been classified into 4. He seeks to live a good life, a happy life, a righteous life, a life of wisdom, a life of enlightenment, a life of tranquility, a life of joy, a life of contentment in this world. Of course, he wants to enjoy life, for which he needs money. Dharma, Artha and Kama. These are the 3 Purusharthas which are normally sought after by everybody. And the rishis say, please go ahead. But remember, the cultivation of Artha and Kama has to be within the framework of Dharma. That is the most fundamental basis of the Rishi's religion. Dharma is the basis, the bedrock, the foundation on which the entire edifice of the world has to be erected. What is Dharma? Shankaracharya in the Gita Bhashya Bhumika, he defines it very simply as twofold, pravritti and nivritti. Swami Vivekananda was also very fond of this idea. Repeatedly he mentions the pravritti and nivritti and gives an entirely new meaning to the pravritti and nivritti, starting from the etymology of these 2 words. Pravritti dharmo, nivritti dharmascha, pravritti lakshano, nivritti lakshanascha. What itself is dharma? Shankaracharya's definition of dharma is extraordinarily beautiful. Jagata sthiti karanam. This is the basis of Jagata sthiti karanam, the sustainability. The modern word is sustainability. So we can call Dharma the principle of sustainability which sustains the universe. Praninam sakshat abhyudaya nishrayasa hetu yo sadharmaha. All the beings seek abhyudaya and nishrayasa, the worldly prosperity comprising dharma, artha and kama, and the supreme goal, nishrayasa, which is moksha. Abhyudaya on the one side with the pravritti marga, and nishrayasa on the other side, nivritti marga, comprise the entire gamut of the Rishi's religion. And this is practicable by people in all classes of society, people who are devoted to knowledge per se, called the Brahmanas, people who are administrators, the Kshatriyas, people who are the corporate sector managers, the Vaishyas, and those who are the service sector called the Shudras. All of them, Varnebhi and Ashramabhischa, those who are students devoted to knowledge, those who earn money and distribute wealth and serve, the Grihasthas or the householders, and those after retirement become consultants, the Vanaprasthins, and those who at the end of their life seek the supreme wisdom, the sannyasins, and bless the world through their realization. The four ashramas and the four varnas, so beautifully classified, later on the degeneration came for various reasons. So these people devote themselves to the pursuit of nishrayasa and abhyudaya, which is called pravritti marga and nivritti marga, which is the whole gamut of the Rishi's religion. So the supreme goal, as I said, is to see God in the devotee's language. Even Jesus the Christ said, Swamiji was very fond of this sentence. He in fact says, if the entire religious literature of the whole of humankind were destroyed, this one sentence shall save the world, which is in the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are they who are pure in heart, for they shall see God. Seeing God is the supreme goal of human life. In the devotee's language, realization of Brahman and the Atman in the Jnani's language, cutting yourself away from Prakriti in the yogi's language, and feeling yourself in everybody in the language of Karma Yoga. Whatever with the language you use, the whole purpose is to attain to freedom. Once again in the Bible, Swamiji was fond of the statement, thou shalt know the truth, and truth shall make thee free. The goal is the attainment of freedom. Swamiji was very fond of this idea. Be free. Freedom, oh freedom, is a song of the soul. The Hindu calls it the mukti or the moksha marga. So this is attained through Brahma Vidya, the supreme reality, which is the basis of all vidyas. Brahma Vidya, Sarva Vidya Pratishtha, as the Mundaka Upanishad says. This is Brahma Vidya, the science of Brahman, the science of reality, the theory behind the attainment of the supreme reality, and the technique or the technology of realization of Brahman is called yoga. So again and again in the Hindu scriptures, these two words occur side by side, Vidya and Yoga. The verse which I just now quoted from the Kathopanishad, Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. Yoga Vidhim cha Krishnam, a totality. Krishna means totality. The totality of knowledge consists of both the theoretical knowledge of Brahman, which is the science of Brahman, or the technology of the realization of Brahman, which is the Yoga Vidya. In the Gita, the colophon, which occurs at the end of each of the chapters, says, Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Sambade Sankhya Yogo Nama Dvitiyodhyaya Karma Yogo Nama Tritiyodhyaya, and so on. So you should observe these phrases there. Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. It is the science of Brahman on the one side and the technology of Brahman on the other side. Both science and technology have to go together for Krishnam, complete knowledge of the supreme reality. What is it? It is a dialogue between the Nara and the Narayana. This knowledge is imparted to humankind by the divine person who Hindu religion believes comes again and again to impart this knowledge to people. Some other religions believe that the God sends their prophets. The Christianity believes his beloved Son in the form of Jesus the Christ came on the earth. Whatever be the idea, it is very clear that this knowledge can be attained by human beings only when it is imparted to them by God directly. Those who have intuited this reality become gods, and therefore they can impart this reality to others. So the supreme reality, therefore, is the Brahman, which is of two aspects once again. That Brahman which is transcendental, beyond time, space and causation, beyond the senses, can't be seen by this ordinary eye, can't be heard by this ear. Na tatra chakshura gacchati na vag gacchati no mana na vidmo na vidanimo yathayat danushishyat yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasa. So many passages in the Upanishads and the Shruti, this can't be seen by this ordinary ear, by the ordinary eye, can't be seen by the indriyas, by the senses. But how can it be seen? Hrida manisha manasa abhiklipto ye tad viduro amritaste bhavanti. This can be seen by a pure mind, a mind which is completely purified. Sri Ramakrishna says the pure mind, the pure buddhi and the pure atman are the same. So what is the difference between the pure mind and the impure mind? Very simply the Upanishad, the Brahmabindu Upanishad says, a mind which is full of desires is an impure mind. A mind which is free from desires is a pure mind. Manohid vividham proktam ashuddham shuddhamevacha ashuddham kama sankalpam shuddhantu kama varjitam. That mind which is free from desire is a pure mind. That mind which is full of desire is an impure mind. A pure mind can intuit this God. And exactly it tallies with Jesus the Christ said, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. You intuit this vision, and as a transcendental reality which is beyond space, time and causation, beyond the world, at the same time you realize it also as immanent in the entire universe. He is kalatita sarvatita, at the same time he is a sarvavyapi. The Chandogya Upanishad speaks about it, sarvam khalvidam brahma, all that exists is only Brahman. And the Brihadaranyaka speaks about his neti neti ityatma. So you can see two parallel trends in the Shruti, the gamut of Rishi's religion, where the supreme reality is spoken of as transcendental, at the same time immanent. Sri Ramakrishna's contribution is that he is both transcendent, at the same time he is immanent. Swami Vivekananda, speaking about his own master, says he is nirguna gunamaya niranjana nara rupathara. He is nirguna, beyond all gunas, at the same time he is full of gunas. So the whole gamut of all the religious ideas, all of them find their place in the Hindu religion, as Swami Vivekananda said. And the yoga is given to people to suit their temperaments. If you are extremely active, you can do karma yoga and serve the entire universe as a manifestation of the same reality. If you are contemplative, you think about intuitive in the heart of your hearts. If you are exceptionally devotional, you surrender yourself to him and see the majesty and the glory and the beauty of God who is present everywhere. And if you are analytical and extremely careful in your logic and intellect, you analyze the truths behind your own self and the entire universe by jnana, bhakti, karma and yoga. Swami Vivekananda's contribution in the modern age is a composite integral philosophy in which jnana, bhakti, karma and yoga become combined. I end with a famous statement that Swamiji made in a letter. He writes, the dry Advaita must become poetic in everyday life. Of the hopelessly intricate mythology should come concrete moral forms. Of the bewildering yogism must emerge practical and most scientific psychology. And all this must be put in a form that even a child can grasp it. That is my life's work. On another occasion, he wrote in a letter, I want to give them hard, dry reason, softened in the sweetest syrup of love, cooked in the kitchen of yoga, and made spicy with work, so that even a baby can digest it. Swami Vivekananda, following Sri Ramakrishna, has given us such a masterly exposition of this pre-cooked, ready-made food for us to only to simply swallow it. Blessed are we that you are sitting at his feet and waiting for a sip of that nectar which our forefathers have accumulated in this great land of ours. Thank you.